Okay, so as you can see, my hand is a little fucked up. Definitely hit that wall pretty hard. That's part of the reason it was so hard for me to hold that pencil. Also, you can see, like, the metacarpal is pretty well fucked up. I got some really nasty carpal tunnel. And as you can see, it's me. But, anyways. See that scar that, it's hard to do one-handed. Starts right there, goes all the way around, all the way to there. See that scar? So I was on stage back in 2001, okay, playing with my band, and this guy rushed the stage, okay, and he had a big old knife. I still have the knife. It's put up over there in the drawer. But anyways, so that scar is where I caught the knife, okay? And that was the day that my left-handed ass became a lot more right-handed than I used to be. Like, I'm not ambidextrous. I'm not. I am multidextrous. And the reason being is partially, you can see, like, see all those scars on the back of my hand? Looks like straight lines, like, I don't know, rulers have been used to smack the shit out of my hand, knuckles, everything else. Also, see that right there on the end right there that goes all the way around? I actually chopped off the end of my finger when I was a child also. Got caught in a storm door. But anyways, it doesn't bend. Makes it kind of difficult being a guitarist, you know. But, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, like I was saying, when I caught that knife, it was a big old, like, hunting knife. And the nerve to these three fingers got severed. So I still can't feel these three fingers. So I can no longer hold a guitar pick. So I had to learn how to play right-handed, you know, instead of left-handed. Yeah. So between my diabetes and, I mean, you can see right now my hand is somewhat steady, but you can also see, like, see those muscles kind of spasming on their own uncontrollably. Yeah. Freaking the left side of my body is definitely affected a lot worse. The right side of my body, if anything, when I had that, how do you pronounce it? Transincidental aneurysm or whatever it's called, a TIA brain aneurysm. It's a light stroke. It's a mild stroke. Okay. Here, let me turn the camera around. Why am I? I don't know. You know, for being in IT, I really fucking don't know how to work certain things. I did cybersecurity. I was a penetration tester. Nothing in my job description said a damn thing about having to know how to use softwares or programs or applications. I only had to know how to break them. If you don't understand what that means, you should probably look it up. But yeah, like, ironically, as you could tell, you know, there's a little bit of a shake from my blood sugar. I'm fasting for what's going on. This here, 7 p.m. You know, 1900 hours would have made 48 hours since I ate, just to get my blood sugar low enough without my insulin to somewhat be able to think or even function. And the only reason I'm even awake right now is, well, I had a night terror. I apologize. I'm rambling. I really don't care. I'm always alone. And so, like, legit as it gets, I talk to myself a lot, and I feel like I talk to myself A little too much. I'm actually sick and tired of hearing my own fucking voice, to be God honest with you. Really am. Legit as it gets, my health is not that great. I can't even go outside on my front porch, unfortunately. A lot of people are like, oh, take a Claritin, you need some sunlight, blah, 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 blah. Well, I mean, that's fine and dandy, but I mean, see all those depigmentations? Yeah, melanoma's a bitch. Also, see how light-skinned I am? I'm half Native American and half Hispanic. Yet, I've worked third shift for so many decades, I've achieved the pinnacle of neon cracker. Like, for real, yo. Like, big time. Don't ask. Just, my head is pounding. I have a migraine still. I had a really nasty night terror. That's actually why I'm telling you what's up with my hand. Between the really nasty carpal tunnel, I punched it. The stroke, it affected the right side, because whenever you have a stroke, it primarily affects your non-dominant side. So, like, the tremors from my cerebral palsy are worse on my left side, my dominant side. And sometimes they're completely uncontrollable. Like, my hand or my arm or my leg will just spasm. Like, the entire left side of my body will spasm. Making it to where I can't even, like, sit upright. Sorry if I'm slurring a little bit. Like I said, my diabetes is acting up. So, I apologize. So, yeah, between, teachers popping my hand with rulers, telling me, left-handed people are unclean, or left-handed people are stupid, or left-handed people are retarded. By the way, I hate the fucking word retard. I don't hate anything or anyone other than myself, maybe, but I do have extreme loathe for the word retard. I am Asperger's, okay? I'm Aspie. It is what it is. Whatever. Fuck you if you don't like that. Big whoop. I was born this way, and you know what? It's part of who I am, so it's all good. Being such, I've been called a retard my entire life, which is fucked up because I'm also a savant. It almost sounds like a contradiction. However, one is your ability to learn, which is the savant side, and one is your ability to comprehend what you've learned, which is the autistic. And actually, I'm Asperger's specifically, which is on the social spectrum, not the MR spectrum. Not going into that. However, I was approached by a few psychiatric journals and asked to write an editorial, which I was flattered, and I am seriously, strongly considering it. I just don't have a computer, so I can't do it right now. But, there we go. Anyways. Ow. Oh, that's better. Sorry. Ow. Might as well get everything while we're at it. But, God, I'm all over the place right now. Freaking ADHD. I really wish I had the right to even see a doctor. Like, people think I'm full of shit, but the fact of the fucking matter is, a judge actually used my autism and a law that's been on the books since the mid-1800s that is so fucked up. It still has the word retard written in the law. Like, for real. Look it up. I don't remember exactly which statute it is, but it's not that hard to look up. Like, just do a Google search for U.S. law with the word retard in it. Like, that's actually how I was able to look it up, because somebody told me about the law. I looked it up and I was like, that's fucked up. Like, that's hella fucked up, yo. Yeah. This law has been on the books since the mid 1800s. They can take away your legal and civil rights, which, do you know what is included in your legal and civil rights? Things like your right to see a doctor, things like your right to report a crime, things like your right to even have a voice in a courtroom, things like basically you're a U.S. citizen that's not treated like a U.S. citizen. Like, they can't deport you because you're from here, natural born, never had citizenship anywhere other than here, but they don't have to recognize any of your legal rights or your civil rights. And like, I've even been told by police officers and my auntie, the judge that fucked me over and did it, straight up, you have rights, Rob. You have all the rights you need. All you gotta do is just tell me what I can arrest you for. See, it took a few different times of hearing that before I caught on to what they was saying. And they said, basically, you don't have a Fifth Amendment, so keep on talking. You have a First Amendment. Feel free to tell me only the things that you've done wrong that I can fuck you over for, you piece of shit. And the fact is, I'm actually a decent law-abiding citizen for the most part. Like, you know, no one's perfect, and if you actually read every single, like, catch clause, do you understand the fact that you can't even breathe? Like, legit, you can't even take a breath in your own home, alone, not doing anything. Like, for example, you're asleep, stone cold sober, all alone, in your home, blah, blah, blah. Like, the absolute model perfect, I'm not doing anything wrong. And there's actually catch clauses that says that you are committing a misdemeanor because you are polluting the air with your breath. Like, for real, you can't even make this shit up. Like, it's fucked up. You can't even exist without being illegal. Like, legit as it gets. Wish I was joking. I'm not. That's the sad truth of society that we live in today. Now, back to this law. Sorry. Fly went up my nose. It's the one that they used to use whenever they would, like, institutionalize women and unsavory individuals. Back in the mid to late 1800s and the early 1900s. They stopped using it in the mid 1960s. You know, they was filling up institutions and sanitariums and wrongly, like, if you was a woman that was a bra burner, per se, they would have you institutionalized or thrown in a sanitarium. If you were gay, sanitarium. You know, just anyone they did not like, they would use this catch clause, and it still has the word retard in the law, and they can take away your legal and civil rights. You cannot contest it. It requires someone to advocate on your behalf that meets certain contingencies. And that's what they did to me. They took away my legal and civil rights. I have health issues. Okay? I'm not just a type 2 insulin-dependent diabetic. Okay? I have a lumbar fusion. That is broke. I have malignant melanoma. I have a crushed thyroid that causes not just extreme hyperthyroidism, but, you know, attention deficit is affected by your thyroid also, as well as quite a few other health issues. Like, it's really fucked up. But when my thyroid got crushed, it was the same incident that also damaged my cortical stem when I was 18 years old. Oh, excuse me. And it's my 4th vertebrae down and 5th vertebrae down. The disc in between it is also gone. They was going to put a fusion or a plate right there. But yeah, I damaged my cortical stem above that when it crushed my thyroid. I think it's like right around the 3rd vertebrae down, somewhere between the 2nd and 4th. But I think it's right at the 3rd vertebrae, is where, you know, here's your brain, okay? Here's your brain stem. Here's your cortical stem, okay? Then your spinal cord, okay? And it's right there. And then, like, here's your 3rd vertebrae. Your cortical stem is right here. Your brain stem is right there. Your spinal cord is right there. And your thyroid is right here, okay? Like, just over and up just a hair. When it got crushed, it shoved that over. It destroyed that disc. Or it herniated that disc, and it destroyed the one right below it just from the, you know, brunt impact. And then, like, the damage it did is irreversible. Then go back up, you know, over here, you know, got your brain again, got your, like, right behind your left temple, right behind your right temple, right behind your left ear, right behind your right ear, okay? Top, bottom, yada yada, right? So right here, okay, right here, kind of back, left, upper quadrant, okay? Right there, I've had a few brain aneurysms, okay? Like, what do we have? Here we go. Note cards, okay. Picture this. Your eyes are right here, your temples are right here, your ears are right here, and then, like, this is the top of your head. Down here would be, like, the base of your neck and your chin, okay? Right here. Alright? Like, right here in this corner. I've had a few brain aneurysms over the years. Multiple strokes. Oh, look, I found my ruler. My bad. Maybe that's what was digging into my back while I was asleep. There, I thought I was just a really naughty, kinky dream. But apparently it actually did scratch my back. My bad. Sorry. Tangent. Sidetracked. My bad. So, yeah. Also, I usually carry these around with me, like, everywhere I go, along with a notebook and, like, a portable sketch set. Just because sometimes I don't feel like drawing on a sheet of notebook paper. These are unruled, and like they're perfect little miniature sketchbooks. You know, I mean, I've used note cards to make flip books, so I mean, why not like carry them with me? You know, for a quick portable sketchbook. I'm like all over the place. I apologize. Getting ready to go back to sleep. My bad. Poor charger. It's been like taped, and it's been like heat shrink, and like come on. Into focus. Wrong side. Yeah. Can you see that little char mark in the middle of that lightning? Yeah, there we go. Kind of can see it. Yeah. I've like, see it's charred on both sides. Yeah. Poor cord's gone through hell. And actually it was my phone that charred it. Yeah, I'm not even going to go into that. It was the phone before this one, to be exact. It's the reason why I had to replace my phone. And yeah. Anyways, I'm rambling. What was my point again? Oh yeah. But like, yeah, like, so over the years in my lifetime, I've had to, adapt from being a lefty to being a righty. Either because teachers have forced me to, or, I mean, I say I don't believe in violence, but more accurately and appropriately, I don't believe in violence anymore, as obvious by the fact I definitely got no issues or quandaries with punching a goddamn wall. Man. To say someone has a temper insinuates that they have a fuse. And I believe that would be a bit of a lie to say that I have any fuse whatsoever. Honest to God, oh shit, my hand is falling asleep. I got pinched nerves in both my shoulders. If I sit upright for any elongated period whatsoever, my arms fall asleep. Like, legit. Especially my left one. It's, like, really bad. That's part of what causes my migraines, why I'm laid up as much as I am. Also my other health issues, but, it's whatever, I guess. I don't know how to get it through anyone's thick skull that I'm actually asking for help on things that are outside my control and outside my capability of doing a damn thing about. Legit as it gets, I'm terrified. I don't want to die. I'm not suicidal. But, I mean, people are legit as it gets trying to kill me. Like, they stole my insulin. I'm diabetic. Do you even understand what that means? If it was not for my thyroid, you would have already seen on the news that I was dead. Like, no exaggeration. Don't believe me? Call a pharmacy and ask a question. What would it hurt? Ask what dangers a type 2 diabetic, insulin dependent, with an 8.9 A1C level, what dangers would they be in if someone stolen their insulin? And the answers are the situation I'm in right now and why I'm terrified and scared and don't want to die. And I don't know what to do. I can't even get anyone to hear me out. I've been dealing with this for over 5 years. And every single time I ask someone for help, like, I ask them directly, and they purposely wrong me every fucking time. Like, is that seriously how worthless humanity is? Like, have we came to a point in allegedly advanced civilization that we're no better than Neanderthal? I mean, for real? Like, Unga, I need help. Unga, fuck you. You know, is that really the way we are? I mean, that's so fucking petty and 2 year old. Like, I live my life as non biased as humanly possible, and I live my life as transparent as humanly possible because, I mean, I was in cybersecurity. I know how fucking way fucked off society is. You know, I wish I could say it was what is it called? Delusions of grandeur. That's what it's called. I wish I could say that. I really do. Like, I don't make wishes, but that's one thing I would wish. Just because at least then there's medication for it. But unfortunately, my paranoias are well substantiated, like legit as it gets. And do you understand? I started college at age 10, okay? Let me backtrack, okay? I'm all over the place and I really don't care. It's what it is. It's whatever, right? Fuck. Man. Damn it. Let me backtrack a little further, okay? Let me just tell you a little bit about my life, okay? I was born clinically dead. The umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck 7 or 8 times. And it was 90 minutes after I was born before I took my first breath. That's like very well documented. HDA Wesley, Wichita, Kansas. You know, I was born at 2:32 a.m. in room 232. It was so astounding that like there's even a little scribbled note from the doctor about that. Like, he thought it was funny that I was born at the same time as the room I was born in. I was a twin. Okay. My parents were told that my twin died during the birthing process. However, according to my grandpa's diary that he left me when he died, my grandma and my grandpa and my mom was aware that my twin survived. They just didn't tell my dad. The couple across the hall in room 233, they had twins also. Both of theirs were stillborn. And according to my grandpa's diary, okay, I don't know if it's true. I don't think he would lie to me about something like this. But according to it, him and my mom fooled around before my mom and my dad got married. My grandpa turns out to be the actual father because my actual father had not slept with my mom yet. Like, kind of one of those shotgun wedding situations when the son was not actually the dad was the dad, so my grandpa was my dad, according to the diary, which I wouldn't doubt in the slightest, because a few other reasons that I'm not going to go into. However, my grandpa said something like, I always knew my grandma is the one who named me. Never understood why. My grandma and grandpa had 2 sons. My dad and his older brother. And my grandma's the one that named me. My grandpa, my dad, and my mom all objected, but my grandma named me. Named me after my dad's older brother. And according to my grandpa's diary, it was to make for sure that Grandpa had a constant reminder of the fact that he cheated on Grandma and had a kid. And my dad was never supposed to know. And I don't have the nerve to tell him. I offered to let him read the diary, though. And unfortunately, someone stole the diary. It was in my backpack that was stolen a while back, along with a lot of other things that, seriously, I had photos of my kids, like actual paper, photos. I had a couple of thumb drives in there that was like all my digital photos of my children. The photos of my 2 weddings. Sorry. Take a deep breath. Okay. My bad. Yeah. Anyways, let's fast forward. So, so my mom separated my twin brother and I at birth, so that way the couple across the hall would not be told that both their kids were stillborn, and just there was a lie to my dad and the rest of the family, according to the diary, that my twin brother was stillborn. Now then, fast forward a few years. Ironically, it was right around the time that I was positively diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I was also originally diagnosed just autistic, and later on they changed it to Asperger's, which Asperger's is a type of autism, so I mean, it is what it is. But I was also diagnosed a savant. Like, I am a documented savant. I have an actual perfect IQ, 300. The scales only go up to 198. However, there are the potential of up to 300. The scale maxes out at 300, but they don't ever put a number beyond 198. Every 2 years, my entire life, other than the past few years, but I mean, I've detailed that on my wall very candidly and honestly. But every 2 years, there's a team of clinical psychologists. I don't know the difference between a regular psychologist and a clinical psychologist. It doesn't make sense to me, but there's a team of clinical psychologists. There is 7 of them over the course of 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending. Each one independently puts me through a barrage of testing. And then at the end of it, they compare their notes, and that's how they keep track and assess not just the perfect 300 IQ savant, but also I have a documented, confirmed near photographic memory. On top of that, they've done some testing, and I'm also a documented, proven indigo hypersensitive. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's really interesting. You should look it up. Anyways, they say that a savant is the next stage in human evolution. They also say an indigo is the next stage in human evolution. And like, there's somewhere between 100 and 1,000 proven savant indigo, which, cool, I mean, definitely a limited edition, I guess, not exactly a one of a kind, but definitely a limited edition. But I don't like the phrasing, next step in human evolution. Fuck you, I don't want that, I don't like that. Do you understand the hell that goes on inside the head of somebody like me? Do you? We are not the next stage in human evolution. If anything, we are a step backwards, not forwards. They think that high of intelligence and being hypersensitive is an advancement. No. It would only be an advancement if the human brain, and I hate the word human. Mind you, I don't hate anything other than myself, but this is definitely something else that I loathe. Because the word human implies that you are humane, and you know what? Humanity was lost on humanity. Let that sink in, okay? Besides, human, that implies that we would be from the planet Hum. I'll agree with Earthling as a slang word because, I mean, the word Earth is a slang name. Like, that's not even the proper name of our planet. Our planet is the planet Terra, as in terra firma, the earth below. Like, legit. So, we are Terrans. We are not humans. We are not Earthlings, although Earthling is an appropriate slang name. But we're not from the planet Hum. Like, for real? Like, what the fuck, yo? Do your research. Fun rabbit holes of research. Trust me. Like, I'm very fascinated with a lot of different topics. And I'm all over the place here. Like, what are we at? 39 minutes in like 4, 3, 2, 1. Anyways, yeah, 40 minutes. Or 40 minutes. 37 minutes. My bad. Wow. I don't have my glasses on. My bad. Did you hear that thud? Yeah, somebody's outside my house. Crazy. That was either my truck or the garage that they was fucking with. And I have a nice, 42-ounce Louisville Slugger made out of hickory wood that is older than me, that says, fuck you, get off my land. I am the legal landowner. I might not have legal or civil rights, but if I fuck you up on my land for, breaking into shit or stealing shit or trying to hurt me, then guess what? Even without legal or civil rights, I am legally protected and justified, and it would be a damn shame for someone to have to do time for something after they get out of the hospital for a pacifist fucking them up. Just saying. It is what it is, right? I got no problems just bypassing the police and calling the coroner and saying, hey, please remove this fucking idiot who was trespassing and broke into my home. No need to get the law involved. Just please remove this limp natural selection being justified. And anyways, yeah. So like, you, whoever you are, that's like fucking with my house. Yep. Did the microphone actually like pick it up where they was like fucking with my truck, or was it too soft? Because I just heard them shut my truck door. That was the sound of them opening it. I thought it was them either getting into my truck or getting into the garage. But I just heard them shut my truck door, so yeah. Not sure what you're looking for. Apparently you're looking for proof whether there's a heaven or a hell, because I'm sick and fucking tired of people fucking me over and hurting me and using me and abusing me and manipulating me and taking advantage of me and stealing from me and every other thing. So, like, you know, it is what it is. And the thing is, it's not like malicious. It's not premeditated. It's called self-defense, legit as it gets. So, like, you know, you're trespassing. This is private property. I am the legal landowner. So, may whatever God you believe in have mercy on your soul as I send you to them. And may my God have mercy on my soul for what I'm going to do to you if you don't fucking get the fuck off my land. Straight up. I hope they can hear me. Because I'm not kidding. I'm dead serious. I'm tired of people fucking me over. So, anyways, one's your potential to learn, one's your ability to learn or understand what you are learning or have learned. So try being a savant who has extreme, unlimited potential to learn on a very high level, like postgraduate level, a lot easier than most people can learn on a remedial level. And being a hypersensitive indigo who, you know, feels what others feel. Like, I'm not a mind reader, but I can definitely feel your emotions, including from afar. I've also been told by multiple preachers, by my explanation and description, that I've had visions of heaven and visions of hell. I'm not qualified to understand that, so I don't care to, so I'll take their word for it. They've also said that I have the gift of clairvoyance and the gift of foresight, which is, from my rough, almost remedial, not even that advanced understanding. One is what happens to me, I can see before it happens. One's what happens to other people before it happens. It's like not exactly seeing the future. It's not prophecy. It's I can see future events that have not happened after they happen. Like, it's a memory of a past event that has yet to happen. Does that make sense? Like, it's complicated. I'm all over the place. Let me go back to what I was getting at. So yes, born, twin separated birth. Okay, I wish I could ask my mom, but you know what? I know for a fact that woman would lie to my face, because she's lied to me about so many things, and she's even publicly admitted to trying to hurt me. So I blocked her a long time ago for my own protection. It is what it is, right? Then after I finished the second grade, that's the summer I was diagnosed a savant and autistic and ADHD and an indigo. Like, all of that I got diagnosed at the same time. And they skipped me straight from the second. That summer I got diagnosed with everything, and then the following autumn I started the fourth grade. I never went to third. I just skipped the third grade, went straight from second to fourth. That's the year I met Amber Jean, love of my life, God rest her soul. Her and I was together from age 10. Mind you, she is a year, a month, and a day older than me. Like, it was right before I turned 10. It was right around Halloween, in between Halloween and Thanksgiving when I was 9. And like right after Thanksgiving is when I turned 10. Her and I dated all of our childhood. Her and I was supposed to be married 2 days after my birthday, my 22nd birthday. So right before I turned 10 till right after I turned 22. So just call it 12 years. And She, I was at the chapel. She never made it. Head-on collision, Geo Metro, with the drunk Ford F-350 that hit her head on the highway. Yeah, I can honestly say my life has been on hold ever since then. And let's move on. Sorry. I don't like crying. I was raised men don't cry. You women have it lucky. You're allowed to have emotions. Us men are not. Sorry. Okay. My bad. So, her and I dated that whole time. Then the next year, is my first year of middle school. 6th grade, I only took language arts and things like physical education and health at the middle school. Everything else, I went across the street, because across the street was Butler County Community College. And I took my math, I took my sciences, I took my art, I took my technologies, I took, everything I took at Butler. I started college when I was 10 years old. Sorry. Let me tell you a little something about Amber Jean. Amber Jean LeWitt. New York City born and raised. I always called her my favorite nerd, but whenever we was in public, she always asked me to call her my little Yankee bitch because I was her little Southern gentleman. And I always felt like an asshole asshat for saying it like that, but she was my little Yankee bitch. And I mean, I'm a Texan through and through. I may have been born in Wichita, and I might have went to school here in Kansas, but I grew up on a farm in Texas, up in the Panhandle. I'm straightforward about it. It is what it is. I have a lot of those country boy mentalities. Yeah. Anyways, she was one of the few people who I let know about my developmental issues. Mind you, I have a speech impediment too. I didn't know if you knew that. My voice is actually roughly an octave higher than most people hear. I've just, over the years, trained myself to drop my voice a half an octave to a whole octave. Part of it's to hide my accent, because I do have a very strong Southern drawl. And part of it's because I have a lisp. Stupid question. Why is it every single speech impediment is a word that somebody with that speech impediment cannot pronounce? Never understood that. Fuck you, Sigmund Freud. Damn Freudian slip. But, she was one of them that knew, what was wrong with my health, what was up with my mental health. That woman knew me better than I knew myself, to be honest. And She was out of my league. Straight up, I won't even lie. She was out of my league from day one. Gorgeous woman, gorgeous. If there was ever a perfect human on this earth, it was her. She had the looks. She had the brains. She also was an indigo savant, by the way. She just did not have the developmental disabilities on top of it. Like me, she was a musical, mathematical, artistic, scientific prodigy. She was just a child prodigy all the way around, okay? She was great with language arts and everything. She had this, first off, she's the reason why looks do not matter, in my opinion. Day one of fourth grade, when I met her, she was an established student who was like top of her class. And I was in a new school that year. And they had like a student mentor that was one of your peers that would show you the ropes. And just her and I just so happened to have all the same classes. And so they just was like, well, it'd be easier to just let her, show him around. And I was such an idiot. Oh my God, I was an idiot. A nerd. Fucking didn't know how to talk to girls. Still don't, honestly. I can't believe I'm telling you guys this. Oh, excuse me, didn't mean to toot. I was so speechless and tongue-tied. This woman was so gorgeous. I didn't know what to do. Like, for real. And, like, I don't remember how the conversation went, but it's probably because I was too busy staring and drooling. And she got an attitude. Straight up. Day one. First day of school. Fourth grade. Straight up. She's telling me certain things, and I wasn't paying attention. I couldn't pay attention. She was too pretty. And she said, all right, first, shut your jaw, stop gawking, stop drooling. You're embarrassing yourself. I looked at her all confused. I didn't realize I was drooling. In retrospect, I kind of did realize. I just didn't want to admit it at the time to myself. And she was like, you're stuck with me, I'm stuck with you, and I'm not going to have some sick, twisted, dirty boy that's going to try to kiss me or something. Like, I mean, cute little, adorable little fourth grader talking to somebody who's only old enough to be a third grader. And, like, she put me in my place the way I'm like, yes, ma'am, confused and scared. And, like, she was my, oh, what's the word? Oh, damn it. I can't think of the word. All this coming to mind is like, garçon, garçon, pardon, garçon. Oui? Anyways, No, liaison. There we go. She was like my liaison for the first couple weeks and first couple months, should I need it, not quite get the hang of things. And she got so pissed off at me so many times. I've never actually told anyone this story directly. Never. Like, I've typed it on my wall, and this is the first time I've actually told the story out loud, like, in its entirety. I'm kind of laughing at myself right now. I got tears running down my face. Like, I got a big old smile, and I'm smiling while I'm doing an ugly cry, and it's a beautiful thing. I needed this. And think I was just telling you why I fucking can't draw at the moment. Oh God, my mind is all over the place. I'm so sorry. I say sorry as a formality, but I'm not apologizing. I'm just having manners, just being real with you. So she was my liaison. She's the one who instilled in me and drilled it into my head that any type of appearance or aesthetic or superficial bullshit is all nonsense and garbage. It's pointless. It's trivial. Okay? Too many people sit there and they're like, oh, she's hot, or oh, he's sexy, or whatever, and don't care to get to know anything about the person. And mind you, I was raised by my grandparents. They're from the Great Depression era. And my great-grandma, who was exiled from Mexico during the Mexican Revolution. That eyes and smile, that's what you need to look at. Honest eyes and a genuine smile, okay? The eyes are the window to the soul, all right? And soft, gentle, honest eyes are someone you can trust. A genuine smile, okay? I don't care how fucked up their grill is. If they have the type of smile that's the smile that brightens up a whole room, and when they smile, the world smiles with them, that is somebody that you want to associate yourself with, because that person is real. They are not fake. They are good people. Honest eyes and a genuine smile. Straight up. So, to expand upon that, Amber Jean sat there and let me backtrack. Mama Kay, okay? She was the owner of the local newspaper. She was one of my grandpa's best friends. She was like a mom to me, her and her husband Stan. God rest her soul. She passed away back in 2005, ALS. But she was the owner of the local newspaper. Her kids, Junior and Michelle and Brian, they were like brothers and a sister to me, I still call Stan Pops, like he's been like a dad, long enough. I will always respect and admire that man, if you should see this, it was good seeing you the other day, Pops. It really was. And I hope the missus is doing better. I've been praying for her after what you told me. So, love and respect. Blessed be and be blessed. Always in my thoughts and prayers. Love you, Pops. You know, she was the owner of the local newspaper. She was the editor-in-chief. She bought me my first camera. I still have it, 38 millimeter, you know, nice camera, case, a few lenses for it, few lens filters, all that. She also bought me my first typewriter. She got me both for my 8th birthday. And like, I learned how to take pictures from her. I learned how to maintenance a camera from her. I just never learned how to develop my own film. I don't really have the desire to either. However, once it's been developed, I do know how to turn a black and white into a color using watercolor paints, because like that's how she would do it, and like that's how I do it. I've even been known to like paint the negatives, which I think is actually the right way to do it, but like I prefer to actually just like paint the actual photo, not the negatives, so that way I have the original untouched. Personal preference, I guess. I learned how to write from her also. She's the one whose philosophy is on my author bio. Anything worth writing is worth writing with a pencil. Because you see, a pencil uses graphite. Graphite's a rock. So both literally and metaphorically, it is actually written in stone if you write it with a pencil. Yeah, like, I always have a notebook and a mechanical pencil everywhere I go, like, literally, so that definitely, yeah. Because of her, I always wanted to be a journalist, by the way. Newspapers are dead, so, but I love to write, and definitely started off with, you know, just pen pals and poetry. I've got a lot of poetry, a whole lot. Then I couldn't tell my story the way I wanted to and get across what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what's going on in my life, what's going on around me. You know, I couldn't tell everything in just a poem. So I started writing short stories. Finally, I had more to get out. And so I wrote a little bit longer than a short story, not quite a novel, you know, basically your novella, if you will. Then I started writing, you know, full-length novels, and then I started writing epics and series. That's how I became an author. Was, you know, I wanted to be a journalist, and I ended up becoming a writer. Either way. But something she instilled in me is, I cannot teach you anything because I cannot force knowledge into your head. I can, however, if you are willing and want to, I can help you learn. And you might think that's just semantics, but there's a lot of truth to it, you know? It's absolutely accurate. You can't teach anyone anything, but you can help them learn. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, started college age 10. I have a master's in fine arts graphics design, by the way, along with a few other degrees and diplomas and certifications, and I have a few honorary postgrads for accomplishments in like open source and cybersecurity. But you know, I have another honorary postgrad coming because of something I was able to figure out in the law. I've talked about it. You're more than welcome to look it up on my wall. on my way to get my graphics, graphics design degree, you have to do an internship. And they give you two options. Option number one is intern at a architecture firm. Well, I was 12, almost 13 years old. No architecture firm was going to take a risk on me. The only other one is intern as a network engineer. So it was right around the time that child labor laws were changed. And because I was already in college, I was grandfathered in. And so I actually, at age 13, was working a third shift job as a intern network engineer. Paid internship at that. Mind you, I've been a paid musician since I was like 7 or 8 years old. So I'm a workaholic. I've worked my entire life, quite literally. Here lately, I haven't been able to work, and that's kind of upsetting me too. Yeah. Anyways, that's how I started off as an IT professional. Like, I'd already done, basic IT work, like, computer building, A+ certification, stuff like that. While I was a network engineer, I got my certification to be a network admin, a Cisco certification, a MSCE, Microsoft certified. Yeah, MSCE, Microsoft certified engineer. It wasn't until like 12 years ago that I got my Apple certification, and it was 2003 when I got my Linux certification. Also, I have one of only like 75 or 80 open source developer certifications, which comes with open source developer licensing, which can only be awarded as, a thank you for various accomplishments and milestones in the open source community. So I'm like flattered. So I'm a licensed and certified open source developer even. Used to say I was just a network admin and a cybersecurity consultant, but anymore I just call myself a maker. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Element 14 is wonderful. Adafruit. If you ever need anything for open source hardware, Lenore Fried is a sweetheart. Tell her Silas sent you. She knows who I am. Speaking of, the way I got my kids interested in technology is Nixie Pixel. I don't know if you know who she is. She used to do the YouTube channel OS Alt. She's a sweetheart. Real cool cat, for real. My kids wouldn't listen to me, so I figured maybe they would listen to a reasonably attractive, not much older than them or doesn't look much older than them, I'll say. She's closer to my age, to be honest. Female. And they did, and, they like technology now. So, thanks, Nixie. Damn, I almost called you by your real name. Sorry about that. But, and over the years, I've been a musician. Allison Cherry, that was my band. Allison was my Martin D1 Dreadnought acoustic, and Cherry was Gibson Les Paul. Just saying. My band, named after two of my guitars. Did you know that I actually have a personal signature series Ovation guitar, electric acoustic cutaway? Her name is Bloody Winter. Feel free to look that up on my wall as well. I miss that guitar. You stupid fucking thief. If I ever find out who took that. Anyways. But yeah, it's actually the Lynn P. signature series Ovation Celebrity. Look it up. She's pretty. I'm proud of that guitar. Legit as it gets. Licensed and authorized personal signature series. Like I said, I've been a musician and a sound technician my entire life. I've been an artist my entire life. I have a few paintings that are either seasonal exhibits or permanent exhibits at a few museums around the world, and I'm kind of proud of that. And yet everybody always just sees this computer guy. I've worked on multiple video games also, primarily background and texture arts. I have, however, written storylines and quests and campaigns for not just video games, but also tabletop roleplay games. I've even designed and developed my own 5d6 rule set of my own design, almost ready for playtest. I do traditional art, I do digital art, I'm an open source developer, I'm a maker, former network admin, former cybersecurity professional, I'm a writer, I'm a musician. My dad has described me as a jack of all trades and master of all that I have applied myself to. And I hate to admit it, but he's absolutely right. If I really apply myself to something, I put forth the extra effort in order to actually accomplish what it is I set out to do on that level, on the level. When I say on the level, I mean like on a professional level. Fast forward, I was like 15 years old on a flight to New York City to go visit Amber. Had a layover in Chicago, and that's how I accidentally met my twin brother. He grew up in Chicago. I grew up, like Kansas and Texas. 21 years old, we both DNA tested ourselves against each other, and we chose to never DNA test ourselves against our parents because we didn't want to know whose parents were the real parents. Not just for our sanity, but for their sanity as well. Then back in February of 2015, him and his dad were killed in a car wreck. Speaking of love interest, being a network admin, I did some work, on a work visa in Paris as a network admin in the early 2000s. And I met this guy named Jacques. And I can't pronounce his last name. Never could. And Jacques just sounds like way too asshole for an American to say. So, although, we parlez-vous franc, I just always called him John. Just saying. Si habla español, Spanish was my first language. I can also read and write Latin on some level still. I've lost a lot of it, but I can still read and write it on some level. So, and I've been to England enough times, I've worked there on work visas enough times that English and American are two different languages. They are as drastically different as simplified Chinese and Mandarin. Straight up. Someone recently asked me, I always wondered, there's a simplified Chinese. Is there a complicated Chinese? I looked at him without missing a beat and I said, Mandarin. Which is true. I mean, they can talk to one another. Like, they're technically the same language, but they're not. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. But by knowing English and American and French and Latin and Spanish, accumulated, any of the romantic languages I can kind of converse with on some level. And, through extensive conversations, although I wouldn't understand most of it if I heard it, Frecken Sie Deutsch, at least read and write some of it, and primarily it's between the French and the Latin, you pretty well have about 2/3 of the German language actually covered, to be honest. The other third is English. Like, straight up, those three languages and you automatically, by default, I'm learning. Just saying. Yeah. My mind is all over the place, and it's been like, I think, an hour and 18 and a half minutes, my bad. Hour and... Basically, we'll just round it up. An hour and 20 minutes of staring at my hand. Fuck you! Damn it, Rob! Robbie's not even my first name. It's my middle name. Just saying. People normally call me either Rob or Lin. First name is Lyndon, if he was curious. Lin for short, but, my siblings call me Lin, and everyone else calls me Rob. Is what it is, right? Ain't what it ain't. My cybersecurity alias is Hacker Silas. There's a story behind that too. Hacker is the first name, Silas is the last name. It's actually kind of interesting and fascinating if you ever want to know. Just ask. I've got no problems answering those types of questions. My nom de plume is the Dark Evil Fairy. There's a story behind that too. Granted, I've told it, I've typed it out, but there's actually a lot more to the story than just that. Ask me sometime. But brief summary of that one, the Dark Evil Fairy. my guardian spirit is the moon fairy. The moon fairy wards away all things dark and evil. And the older I get, the more I've understood that I am my own worst enemy, or at least I thought that. Till a lot of fucked up shit happened. But I'll still roll with that just in case. So if I am my own worst enemy, and my guardian spirit is the one that wards away all things dark and evil, that means my guardian spirit is protecting me from myself. Meaning I am the dark fairy and evil fairy both, because that would be the polar opposite of the moon fairy. Not to be confused with the man of the moon or the goddess of the moon. Does the man of the moon have a name? I know the goddess of the moon is Luna, but what's the man of the moon's name? I don't know. I've never even thought about looking that up. I just thought about that. That's weird. I'll have to look that up. New rabbit hole research to go down. That'll be fun. That's like most of my books take place in Agartha. Agartha is better known as Hollow Earth, sometimes known as Shangri-La, but Shangri-La is also something different. Like, there's two definitions of Shangri-La. One is Hollow Earth, Agartha, and one is Hollow Earth Afterlife. Like, two different ones. And Agartha actually has a couple different references also. It's also Afterlife or Hollow Earth, or sometimes even thought to be just like deep cave dwellings, like a underground society that's not quite Hollow Earth. Like, it's really fascinating. But yeah, most of my writings and literary works take place in Agartha, just because it's something that fascinates me. I won't go into any details because I don't want to give too many spoilers. I do enjoy every now and then, though, throwing you guys a little teaser snippet. Something that's not quite critical to the story, but definitely something I found interesting. Like, my writing style is complicated, as I've detailed. There are 4 stories in everything that I write. The first one obviously being the story at face value. The second one, if you read between the lines, is a very candid political commentary about the world around me as I see it and as I understand it, which gives you a really intimate portrait into the inner workings of the mind of, Aspie, Then if you read between the lines again on another read through, there are no antagonists, there are no protagonists. At face value, you see an antagonist and a protagonist. You see your hero and you see your villain. But if you really look closely, there is no hero, there is no villain. They are kind of both in the same category, anti-hero or anti-protagonist, if you will, because they're not quite protagonists. And the actual antagonist or villain is mental illness that is based off of my own personal, real-life dealings and experiences with mental illness as a whole. And then the fourth one is just that special, personalized love letter, from me, the writer, to you, the reader, with a bunch of purposefully placed errors. I give examples, so I'm not going into that again. Feel free to look it up. I've been all over the place on this. Roughly an hour and a half. I'm scared, y'all. I honestly goddamn scared. So many people have hurt me, and I can't do anything about it. I can't even get anyone to even sit down and one-on-one, face-to-face, to even hear my side of things. Yeah, I tell it public as it gets, and people keep telling me, it's getting old, blah, 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 blah. Well, have you ever sat down in person with me and actually, without any preconceived notions, without being judgmental, without cutting me off, actually let me tell anything to you, to your face? Like, let me have a voice in the matter? Or did you just assume something and just not even let me finish where you had a preconceived notion of things? And here recently, somebody actually did steal my insulin. And that terrifies me because I have no way to replace it. None. And like I said, call the pharmacy. What would it hurt? Ask what danger someone with an 8.9 A1C level who had their insulin stolen from them, what dangers would they be in? Just saying. And point out, crushed thyroid causing extreme hyperthyroidism. Find out from them directly, since obviously you're not going to listen to me or believe me. Find out from a pharmacy what that actually means. Call your doctor for that matter. I don't have a doctor anymore. I'm not legally allowed to have one. And that's what I've been vocal in public about for over 5 years now. Trying to get rectified, but no one will even so much as let me have a voice in the matter whatsoever. And I need a voice in the matter of more than just that. But anyways, between the cerebral palsy caused by the damage to my cortical stem when I was 18 years old, 21 years old, severed that nerve to these 3 fingers, my diabetes, and definitely getting told not to be left-handed my entire life. I am not ambidextrous, but I am multidextrous. But that's why I was having troubles. So, sorry. God bless you all. Sincerely and truthfully, I do honestly love you all, including my own worst enemy. Let's say a real quick prayer together, shall we? Lord, bless all the peoples of the world. And please bless those that I have personally wronged, and I know I have wronged twice. Because I made a mistake. And bless those who have wronged me thrice, for I must have wronged them and did not know it, or they would not have wronged me, because I tend to remember the ones that I did wrong. Anyone with any special needs, including myself, like for health, just any unspoken need, assist and fulfill, please. Thank you for you and all the ever after, your wife, your 2 sons. Thank you, Lord. I've had interesting conversations on some near-life experiences with you, sitting on a couch outside the pearly gates. And just all I ask is that, if it's not too much and you still have some blessing to go around, bless me too. If not, I understand. Just make for sure everyone else is blessed, please. Thank you. Blessed be and be blessed. Amen, so mote it be. Anyways, love you all. I'm going back to sleep. I didn't say my prayer before I went to bed. That's the same prayer I say whenever I wake up and right before I go to sleep. I usually actually insert a few people that I know have personal needs or they have asked me to pray for them. So, but I just left it open-ended for whoever hears this. I would love to keep going on and on and on. I honestly would. But I need to lay back down. And my stomach's growling. And someone's fucking with my truck again. And I just, anyways, love and respect. Blessed be and be blessed. Okay? Straight up. God bless you all. God loves you, and so do I. Mama Kay taught me that, and I have to agree. God loves you, and so do I. So love one another, damn it. It's a lot easier than the alternative. XOXO, y'all. Until next time. And please, feel free to ask me a question directly. And stop going behind my back and asking every other person who has not asked me. I would appreciate that. Thank you. Mwah. Love you all.